This is Straight Talk with it live immediate Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, and his sidekick Shannon Jones. Frank discussions of issues affecting the ATL, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, the nation, and around the world. And now, here they are, live and in living color, the team of Jones and Fann, the Preacher Man.
Well, hey, we're here today. I tell you, man, Shannon and I, and you know, Shannon, he's a great brother. You know, you heard the intro by Brother Harold Lamar. Harold calls me the Greg Fann, the Preacher Man, from the native Atlanta, and Shannon Jones. And well, you know, we what do we call ourselves? The what?
Hosea and Malachi of our time.
We call ourselves the straight talkers. We're the straight talkers. We got a great program for you today. Shannon and I do. We're going to be talking to Representative Renita Shannon. She's going to talk to us for about a little while to talk about what's going on under that demon dome. I wish you guys would stop calling that place the Cold Dome. It's demons down there. We got people who are trying to destroy us, but you want to placate them by calling them, oh, it's the demon dome. Well, we know everybody down there ain't a demon, but the ones who ain't a demon ain't even worried about calling it the demon dome. They need us to be praying for them and calling them demons out. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We preaching. We call out demons. Jesus called out demons. We call them out. We got to call the demons out at the demon dome. But Renita will be here to talk to you more about that last bad bill, that voter suppression bill, in just a few minutes. But you're not going to talk to my comrade and confidant.
Did she call it the demon dome?
No, she did not.
Oh, okay.
She did not call it the demon
I thought
dome.
she said she'd be here to talk more about it.
Yeah, well, she'll be here more to talk more about
what's
what's going on down there.
Okay,
that's what we're talking about. She didn't call it the demon dome, but you can see the expression on her face. It's like, oh my God, they are demons down here. Really, they are demons down here. But when you walk in that place, you can just feel that spirit, man, of hatred, and it's troubling that people, even now in 2021, that we have people that still want to oppress us. We have people still today that want to be superior over us and to take our monies, use our monies against us. And it's just disturbing, Shannon. It really is. It really is. I mean, and well, what do you have to say before we bring Renita?
Well, I think everything that they're doing down there right now. Stacey Abrams wrote a book, Our Time Is Now, where she says basically that she won in 2018. Mm-hmm. She said that we had the largest voter turnout since 1966. But not only that, she said that the kind of suppression that you see, happening there to push our alliance back, to push the black vote and to suppress the black vote, is directly connected to the fact that there is white fear, that America is turning browner, okay, mm-hmm. and Georgia is turning browner. And so whites within the next few years within the next very close few years, like 2024, will be the minority in Georgia. And so all of this is to try to beat back, to suppress, and to have this kind of, I'm gonna say it, this kind of apartheid power.
You're straight off, man. You know you're going to say what you're going to say. Now, you ain't scared to say this.
Where I just don't want them to cut us off.
Oh, no, we don't care about them cut us off. The Lord will cut us back on.
Just if they cut me off, call me, okay? But it is that where that minority tries to rule and manage the majority, and they do it by demonic forces, right, and demonic ways. Right. And so there's real fear here. Of a loss of POWER, a loss of power. And that's what politics is about. It's about empowering people. And our vote, that sacred vote, and Abrams talks about the fact that John Lewis said that the vote was almost sacred. She says, well, I'm going to go push at that and say that it is sacred. And I agree with it. It is a sacred because God gave us voice, and in a democracy, the vote is the voice. So I'm happy that we have Representative Shannon on to talk about what needs to be done, and I think we really have to look at HR 1 and HR 4 at this point, because the die has been cast, the dirt has been done, and the demons have moved.
Well, we're going to bring you on, Representative Shannon, and what's really going on now? About the bill that's on the House side that is going over to the Senate side. Explain that to the viewers.
Yes, so we've had House Bill 531, which you've heard a lot about in the news. This bill is squarely aimed at making sure that Black and brown voters can never show up in the ways that they did in the November election that was able to get President Biden to win, and in addition to the U.S. Senate seat races that were able to give Democrats control of the U.S. Senate. So this bill has many things in it meant to attack our vote. It almost nearly removes souls to the polls, saying that basically you can only have one weekend of early voting, and you have to choose Saturday or Sunday, not both. It standardizes voting hours, saying that voting hours are 9 to 5 unless there's an exception, Monday through Friday. So obviously, that's when people are working. It does other things like create new felonies that I think will ensnare regular everyday people in the criminal justice system just for trying to exercise their right to vote. So for example, one of the provisions in the bill says that if you turn in an absentee ballot that's not yours, even if you drop it off in a drop box, that's a crime. So these are basic things where you can see where if you've got an elderly parent who wants you to turn in their absentee ballot, now you're possibly committing a crime. So there's a lot of things built into it to really intimidate Black and brown folks into not voting. That's really just the bottom line.
Can you just talk briefly about the ID that Mr. Rawson is talking about giving away free to people, state ID? Because the people are buying into that they can get a free state ID and they'll be able to vote.
Yes. This is a distraction. The speaker is only saying this now because many of us have pushed back against having to have some type of ID to use the absentee voting process. The speaker is coming out talking about this now, but the reality is it would cost money for the state to just give people free IDs, and we've already passed our state budget. So how are you going to allow that agency to do that when you put no money in the budget? And that's how you know that this is not a real thing. In addition, the solution is not comprehensive because in order to get a state ID, a lot of times you have to produce a birth certificate or a social security card. Most people I know cannot go and easily retrieve their birth certificate. Not everybody has everything filed away in a neat little drawer ready to grab it. And so if you have to get your birth certificate, that costs money as well and can be very expensive. So while he's saying that he would like to look at legislation to pay for anyone who needs an ID, are you also going to pay for the backup documentation that's needed to get these IDs? He's really just trying to distract everybody from the fact that they are just trying to make the absentee voting process harder, and they had absolutely no questions or concerns about the absentee voting process when it was mostly older white seniors using it. But now that Black and brown people have showed up in ways that they've never shown up before in elections, now there's a need for us to revamp the absentee voting process. It's a bunch of garbage.
Bunch of garbage under that demon dome. Listen, I'm praying for you under that demon dome. They want to call it gold, but the gold dome, the Capitol, but it's the demon dome. A lot of evil people down there, they don't have a soul. They don't care about people. But one last thing, I know you got to go, but I want you to just tell the people that are viewing and will be viewing and listening, what can they do, because it's crossed over now and it's going over to the Senate side. What can they do to help stop this bill?
Yes, this is what we need everyone to do, and thank you for asking. Everyone, please reach out to your U.S. representatives and your U.S. senators. So reach out to your U.S. House members. So if you're in the metro area, this might be the new Senator Nikema Williams who took John Lewis's place. So reach out to your U.S. representatives and let them know that you want them to reprioritize voting rights. Ask them to pass H.R. 1 and H.R. 4. Because now that they've done COVID relief, I'm seeing that they're going to move on to infrastructure and they're going to move on to other issues as the next thing that they're going to attack and that they're going to try to do within the Biden policy agenda. But the thing is that we need protecting voting rights to be the next thing they work on. This is a priority because anything past the federal level will supersede what we're seeing on the state level to enact voter suppression. So reach out to your U.S. House representative and reach out to Reverend Warnock and John Ossoff. Everybody has the exact same 2 U.S. senators. Reach out to the 3 of them and tell them, now that you've passed COVID relief, your very next step has to be protecting voting rights. Everything else can wait. We need protection of voting rights now.
Thank you so very much. And you have a great day, okay? Continue to
Thank
do
you.
the work.
Yeah. Bye.
Well, Shannon, I tell you, she was right on, spot on.
Yeah.
Listen, and you must, the federal law trumps the state law. If we can get the federal government to pass those 2 bills, those 2, H1, H4, if we can get them to pass those 2 bills, and call your U.S. Senator, call your U.S. Congressman, Congresswoman, David Scott, Sanford Bishop, Hank Johnson. Those are the ones mostly that deal with this area. Call them, tell them, get to work. We need you to work on getting those bills passed. We got to have it for Georgia. We got to have it for Georgia because it was no good. And we elected Reverend Warnock, elected John Ossoff, elected even Nikema Williams, and them, because they got to run.
And that's the point. You know, she said that the administration seems to be moving on. Well, it won't be an administration if they don't come back and address this issue.
Absolutely.
We won't have the votes to be able to do it because they'll have the mechanism in place to keep suppressing the vote.
Every election.
So
Not just any
midterm, and then that'll take back, and then they'll begin rolling back everything. So they better stay on HR 1, HR 4.
But, you know, we talk about from the federal level and the state level, but what about our local races? They too, the policies for voting are the same in all elections.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have a lot of cities that are largely controlled by black people.
Yeah.
You know, so we got to make sure one, and black and brown people and Latinas and Asians and others, that we have an opportunity that we elect people who we think is going to best serve us, not be suppressed in voting. But you know,
I know in my community,
right,
it's going to always be black controlled. I mean, they can redistrict all they want to, but I can count, you know, the barbershops in my community and all that, hoopties and all that. I mean, I'm in the hood, brother, so, you know, they can't redistrict me. I'm always going to have some black representation. But now you over there, where you are, that might change. But that's where you want to live.
Well, you know, I can tell you like this right here, all things are subject to change.
I remember when we didn't drive through East Point,
right,
because East Point police, you know, very racist. But anyway.
Well, thank you for that dissertation.
But
I have staying next to me right now, honestly, I have an Hispanic couple in the back of me, Hispanics on the other side across the street, an Asian family in front of me.
Very multicultural.
Yeah, we're multicultural in my neighborhood.
Those going to be your representatives?
Yeah, they may be, but I want to make sure that they're going to be dealing with liberty and justice for all. You know, Shannon, you know, one of the things that, and you know, you talked to me about this when we were at one of the school board meetings most recently. We'll talk about school board in a little bit.
Yeah.
But one of the things you said to me when I did not stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag, and you noticed, and after it was over, you said, Bishop, I noticed you didn't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag. And I said to you, I do not. Mm-hmm. And the reason I don't, until America can come true to what it's saying in terms of liberty and justice for all, then I will then stand up and give a pledge of allegiance to a flag that I believe in. That's just like me sitting as a minister or whatever, or gospel singer, whatever it may be, singing a song that my mama's dead and gone, and my mama's sitting right here beside me. You know, why am I going to sing a lie? You can say a lie just like you can sing a lie like you can say a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. America is not living up to what it says when we take and play and put our hand over our heart and say, I pledge allegiance to a flag that stands for liberty and justice for all. It does not.
Well, let me say this in response. I think, first of all, that's your flag. Is it your flag?
My flag.
Is the American flag your flag?
I'm American.
Okay, it's your flag. And you, in your protests, in your preaching, in your living, all that you have done that in allegiance to the idea of what that flag stands for. And you have pushed for that flag to represent and to be true to what the U.S. Constitution says. That flag gives you the right to sit down or stand up or take a knee. That's what that flag stands for. And I don't think that that's in any way, some would be offended by it. I certainly wasn't. I just noticed it.
Right.
And I respect your position. And I think that whether you're sitting down or whether you're standing up, you were at a meeting speaking out for the least, the lost, the left out. And had you not been there, perhaps they'd be left behind. You were there to give voice. You were there to use the liberty that the U.S. Constitution gives you to advance the notion of democracy. Right?
Right.
So,
absolutely.
So I say that your life has been lived to give allegiance to what that flag's ideal says. And you have fought those who would say that they bleed red, white, and blue, but they really don't stand for what that flag truly stands for. So I think that whether you sit or stand, I think that your body of work and your living embodies what that flag is, and what that flag hopes that we as Americans can be.
Well, thank you for that, Chairman. But I want to do.
Other than that, you was just sitting down.
Well, I'm old too.
I just bumped it up. I was your press agent on that. I fixed it. So I mean.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, on another note, that we're talking about that is we have dealt with the issue of the voter suppression, and another form of the suppression is we believe that when Fulton County Board of Elections tried to remove Mr. Barron from his position as the election supervisor, we did a segment on that, that they were in fact creating another form of voter suppression, because you have a man who wasn't doing a good job. And we all agreed that he wasn't doing a good job.
Yeah.
But in the last elections, he did a good job, a stellar job. He did such a good job that the former president of the United States tried to get the Secretary of State, his staff, to change the results of the good job that he had done to allow the citizens of Fulton County to have a free and fair election. Now understand, there's a new board in town, and they're asking that the Attorney General, who is a Republican, by the way, who would not handle the case that a Democrat District Attorney, Ms. Woods, had asked if he would look into the Ramard Brooks class. And he said no, he will not.
Chris Clark.
He sent it back to her, but he took the other case, but he wouldn't take that case. Now they're sending this election thing to him for him to look at. Now it is our understanding. From looking at the charter. And talking to our resources. That the reality. Thank you so very much, Mr. Parr.
You said it after I said it, Mr. Parr. Go ahead, get back up.
After talking about resources, that the charter says, the charter that which they're founded on, the board is founded on, they are to abide by, is that they recommend to the Board of Commissioners the positions for the director of the department.
Yeah.
The Board of Commissioners have to approve their recommendation. Now, they can deny their recommendation.
Right.
It's just like the county manager. The county manager for department head, he brings people before them for consideration as to be the department head. So if they said no, they turn it down, then so that person. So I'm just saying here, that's like the police chief.
Right.
They bring the police chief before the council for the council to vote on whether or not they're going to accept the mayor's recommendation, because she can only recommend this person, or fire chief, she can only recommend.
Right.
So I mean, but the power is in the body, the elected body,
And
always,
it should be.
always,
It should be.
always.
So I think we're making news
Right.
here, because what we're saying is A.G. Carr potentially could be caught up in this effort to suppress the vote by even ruling. He should, because he's quick to send some away.
Right here.
So he need to just send this on right back to commission and say, you have ruled on this, and that's what it is. So it's going to be interesting to see if he tries to put his thumbprint on what they have, what the commission has done.
The elected body.
The elected body.
By the people.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Now, while we're talking about that, this voter suppression, we have so much suppression is going on that they don't want the public to know, hiding things. The young lady who worked for the Secretary of State, all of a sudden, we knew about the information about the former president trying to get Mr. Ratzenberger
11,000 votes.
find him 11,000 votes.
Just all I need is 11,000. Just give me 11,000.
11,000. So, but we don't know about the call that he's calling his chief investigator to look at the Cobb County votes and go back and look at how she could change those votes, or they could change those votes. I mean, the transparency, corruption on every hand, and all of it is about taking control of power, who will make decisions about your and my and our kids and grandkids' life. That's really what it's all about. It's all about a power grab. It's all about money in the end.
Yeah.
In the end.
And we know it's true because Trump put Amy Coney Barrett on the U.S. Supreme Court. And they had a hearing about these 33 states that have these ALEC bills, is really what they are.
Right,
ALEC bills that are suppressing the vote in 33 to 40, from 33 to about 43 states are dealing with this now. So the Supreme Court had a hearing, and they heard, and the defendant for the Republican Party, or the lawyer for the Republican Party, said, Amy Coney Barrett asked, basically, why are you advancing this type of legislation? Paraphrasing. And he said, in response to Justice Barrett, he said, so that Republicans can win elections.
That's what he said.
This is the way that Republicans can win elections. And she said, my time is expired. She didn't have any more time to go, and that was the balance of her time. Yeah. But you can go and actually Google that and hear that for yourself. So it is on record before the U.S. Supreme Court that they are advancing these suppressive bills and laws so that the Republican Party can win.
So they can take us back.
So they can take us back.
Now
the question, because if you're bold enough to say that to the U.S. Supreme Court,
we want to make America great again. We want to make America great again. Yeah. How do you make America great again? You keep stealing elections,
stealing, right?
And to keep in control of
and they do it in the name of Jesus. That's the problem for me. So I'm starting to ask people because I'm telling a lot of people they worship Jesus. But not Jesus.
Jesus. And y'all know who Jesus is, don't you?
Jesus, Because I went to school with brother. I said, brother, your name is Jesus. No, my name not Jesus. It's Jesus. So they worship in Jesus, but not Yeshua. Not that liberating black Christ that we all know.
Yeah, well, it's all about liberation for us as a people. We're always in a fight. We'll always be in a fight. And we are in a fight right now with the Fulton County School Board.
Yes.
We are in a fight right now with the Fulton County School Board. Fulton County School Board has 7 members. And out of the 7 members of the Fulton County School Board, 5 of them lives in North Fulton, and only 2 in South Fulton. One of them, Gail Dean, by name, who's been on the board for a long time, when they did the reappropriation and redrew the line, and they drew enough and brought a far enough down into South Fulton, in the East Point community and the Hateville community, to have just a smidgen here in this area, so they can say we do have a 3rd representative. But her interest is more North Fulton than it is South Fulton. And where we are now is we must move to try to get us a representation on the school board.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars we put into the school board. Billions of dollars. We on the 18th of this month, we will be at the Fulton County School Board on Flat Show Road. It's right behind the library there in Union City. And Shannon needs the address. We can give you the address, but we need you to join us at 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. at the Fulton County School Board meeting. There's some things going on that you just won't believe. They said that you cannot speak at a school board meeting. If you spoke at this meeting, you can't speak at the next meeting, and you certainly can't talk about the same topic you talked about at the last meeting.
That's suppression.
Then, boy, Fulton County Commission would love that. The City Council, but Atlanta City Council would love that. The DeKalb County Commission would love that. Yeah. I mean, if they could do that. And listen, and there are other agencies that, government agencies, would love to be able to do that, to suppress the voices of the people. And then they don't even air it during public comment on their program. They don't show public comments. That's illegal.
And they don't have it in the minutes.
I mean, the reality of it is
there's no record.
No, well, we got to make sure that we perfect the record, brothers and sisters. And I want to make some clarification. There may be in the minutes, but we ain't never seen the minutes. No. We don't know when they ratify the minutes. Only thing we know that's in the minutes probably says we don't have public comment. So the reality of it is, it's crazy. The most money that you and I and others spend, those of us who have kids in school, don't have kids in school, you got property, guess what? You are paying school board taxes, and they don't even want you to have a voice about what's going on in the school system. On the 18th, we're asking you to join us at the Fulton County School Board meeting in South County. Give that address.
6 p.m. at Thursday, March 18th, 6 p.m. at South Learning Center, 4025 Flat Shows Road, Union City, Georgia, 30291. Again, 4025 Flat Shows Road, Union City, Georgia, 30291. Just behind the Walmart, right up from if you're on Old National Highway, take Flat Shows past the Walmart. Come on past the IHOP, keep on up, and you'll get to the library, and it's behind the library. Just don't go in that door. Just keep straight on back. It's hidden back there. They back there hiding like they hiding these records and all this stuff. But you just get on back there, and we really need to pack it out because our voice is our vote. And this 3rd person that they have that they say is our representative. You know, the OJ's already answered that. Your body might be here with us, but your mind is on the other side of town. You're messing us around.
Woo! You know what I'm saying? Boy, you hit that thing. You hit it, boy. You hit that, boy. You see that? He hit that thing.
I'm taking preaching lessons by the bishop, by Greg Fann, so I can too be a preacher man.
Ladies and gentlemen, on a serious note, though, That's real talk, though. Her body wasn't even present at the last meeting because she called in on a call in the meeting. She wasn't even there at the meeting to face citizens. She wasn't even there to even look citizens in the face, or citizens could look her in her face. Wasn't even there. So we have to get involved in the school system. We talk about education. Education is very important, but it's our money. And they're talking about how much money the school system is going to be losing this year because kids didn't go to school because of the pandemic. Guess who's going to have to come up with that money? We are. We're going to have to be the ones who's going to come up with that money. So we got to have a voice in the school system. You must, I must. And they say parents don't want to get involved. They don't have the time to get involved. Well, listen, you have the time to pick up the phone. You have the time to email. You have the time to text. If you can text your friend, if you can email, you can text them, you can email them, let them know what's going on. And we're going to be there. We're on the battlefield. We're going to be fighting with you, not for you, but we're going to be fighting with you because your child is our child too. Your child is our child too, right. Because we care about our children, and we want our children not to be that prison to pipeline, from school to pipeline to prison. We don't want that. We want to stop that, and we can stop that, and we can do it by what? Working together.
That's right. So you got to be there. You got to show up, because what you're doing is you're funding your oppression and the oppression of your children and your community. When you don't show up, when you say, well, somebody else or go to the meeting, you're the somebody else. It's coming out your check anyway. They're getting their tax dollars anyway from your money, and you're funding them to be able to do what they're doing to our schools on our side of town. So you need to be there and let them know that this is absolutely, not only is it not acceptable, but it won't be accepted.
Well, thank you so very much, Shannon. I appreciate you. Email us at fan922comcast.net, or you can call us. We'd like to be on the program at 443-080795. We want to say to you as we get ready to leave today, it's important, brothers and sisters, as we make this appeal, it's important that your voice be heard. What I love about our young people, they're the young people of the 60s. They're the young people who are out there marching in the 60s. The same young people with the same courage, the same tenacity that we had in the 60s. They're letting their voice be heard. They're letting their talent be shown, and they're giving of their time. Won't you let your voice be heard? Won't you let your talent be shown? And won't you give of your time? We need you to get in this struggle, to get in this fight, because if we all lose if you're not a part and on the team. Get on the team. Get in the game. The game of life is not over until the final whistle is blown. Well, God bless you and heaven smile upon you. And we'll see you next week right here on what? Straight Talk.
Want to be a guest on Straight Talk? Email Greg Fann at FANN922@comcast.net or call 404-308-0795. Join us again for another episode of Straight Talk with Shannon Jones and Greg Fann, the Preacher Man.